Given your perspective as like a engineering manager today, have you seen the successful transition from someone that, let's say, it's like a software engineer role on your team that decides to pursue another type of role in the tech industry? And what have you seen as like successful transitions from not hardcore, but very focused on software engineering beyond that track to transition to something else that's within the tech industry?
I think the most common one that you see is software engineers transitioning to product managers. And you can almost kind of generalize that to not product managers, if we just call them product people. And why I'm saying that is because let's say somebody works at a startup and maybe they're not called product manager there, but maybe the work they do is defining the product. Or somebody becomes a founder of a new company and they're doing a lot of sort of product definition work. I think that is, and that generally happens because people, you know, realize that maybe they have a knack for it or they are interested in product definition work. And then they would be more valuable to the company as a result. Or at least that's how I think that, in my opinion, should be the reasoning. I've also heard people say, oh, becoming a product manager is like sort of somehow otherwise desirable, which I don't necessarily agree with because it's not like product managers are compensated better than software engineers. It's just a different role in a similar way as like being an engineering manager is a different role than being an IC engineer. Some people also get into project management, sorry. And in my mind, I think that's also like a project management is one role, but there's people who are essentially focused on or driven by execution related topics. So which has less to do with product definition, but more like product's been defined. How do we execute this in an efficient way and get it out the door? So outside of core engineering, there's these functions in companies where there's execution work, where there's operations work, there's product definition work. And I think software engineers often have the required foundation to transition into those things. But of course, there's trade-offs, right? I think you want to become a product manager or you want to become an execution person if you enjoy that and you would do that well. And in that situation, I think the company will value that and reward that. But just for the sake of doing it probably doesn't make sense because, I mean, really good product managers, or for that matter, really good people in any kind of role are generally rare. Making a change like that is totally possible, often works, and I think is a great idea if somebody realizes that they have a knack for that or are more interested in that. And then they, as a result, will do a really good job in that role.